Thanks so much for being here. I thought I would show you guys how I kind of take care of the animals and do some of the outside chores. Today, my husband usually works from home and he does a lot of this, but he's not working from home today, so I'm going to try and get as much done as I can by myself. So I've already let the goats out of their little barn. We keep them in a barn at night just to keep them safe from like coyotes or any kind of predators at night. And so I let them out and turn their fence on. So I need to go check on the chickens, check their water and their food. And there's probably a good bit of eggs because I haven't checked that in a few days. Go ahead and get those and give the goats some grain, give them some more hay, and clean out their water. So that's them. Then I also need to take care of the cows today. My husband has done pretty much all of the cow stuff. They're very skittish. They came to us about 6 months old, and they had just kind of only been out in a field or out in a pasture, not really around humans much. So they're getting used to us. My husband has done most of the like up close and personal kind of stuff. Like they're doing well with him. They can eat out of his hand. He's been working on halter training, that kind of stuff. I'm not going to do any of that today. They are used to me. I mean, I've been in there with them cleaning up poop or putting out hay, things like that, cleaning out their water. But I've never like been in there alone trying to touch them. Whenever I've like tried to touch them and stuff, my husband's been in there with me. I don't think anything would happen, but I'm not gonna do all of that today. I'm just gonna feed them, check their hay and their water and stuff, make sure everything's clean. And then later today, I'm probably gonna try and clean up some of the poop, or I guess I should call it manure. And I need to at some point start working on the compost. I've just been kind of piling things up, not really good ratios, not turning anything. So I need to try and figure that out. I don't know if I'll get to that today or not, we'll see. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to be taking care of the animals and just kind of making sure everything is cleaned up. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm headed out to where the goats and the chickens are. I just yesterday set up the goats around the chickens. We keep our goats in an electric netting fence. And so we usually move them around, or we have since we gotten them. But now that we're kind of out of grass, we are toying around with the idea of just kind of keeping them in this location, maybe for at least a few weeks, maybe for the winter. The reason that I have them by the chickens was actually recommended by another YouTuber from Willowbrook Homestead. I think that's right. He said that he keeps his goats with his chickens and that keeps the snakes away. I don't know how that works, but we're gonna give it a go. So I have them set up kind of around the chicken coop area. We keep our chickens all in this cage set up. The hawks around here are really bad, and we've tried free ranging and it didn't really work out so well. So I'm going to start by turning the electric netting off. Out their water. I have this brush that is hanging right here that I just will dump the water out and just clean out any like muck. I checked all of their feeders. We use these two for like pellet type grain, layer feed kind of thing, and this one has scratch grain. They like the scratch grain more, and so it's running low, so I'm gonna just put what I have left in these and I'll get some more at the store. Okay, so this is our setup for the goats. We keep this, or I've moved this right over here by where they are to make it super convenient. Every day they get a 1/4 of a cup of the grain for each one. And then we also use this. And this helps prevent them from getting worms. And I do like a heaping 1/2 teaspoon every like 2 or 3 days. This is their mineral. There's not like a certain amount they need. They just need to have it available every day. There's still some in their bowl in their barn, so I'm not going to give them any of that today. Okay, so I went ahead and filled up what I had left of the scratch grain. And while I went to go get the scratch grain, I went ahead and gave the goats some hay, and I checked their water. I had just filled it up last night. So it was fine, at least until the baby's nap. He's starting to get a little tired of being in the stroller. So we are gonna move on to the cows real quick and get them fed, and I will come back and work on this some more while he's napping. Okay, so I got their buckets. I just did 2 big scoops of their regular grain, and then you can tell it's kind of more green looking. This is alfalfa. We're just giving them that so that they're used to something as like a treat when we're done feeding them grain. Okay, so I just finished up getting some manure from the cows, and oh, this is my baby monitor just listening to see if he wakes up. But I just finished getting all the manure out, and this is kind of where I've been piling it up. Some of it is more mixed up than others, and this is some land that we cleared, and this is going to be hopefully a future garden. We're going to need to put a fence around it just for the deer and the rabbits, but hopefully by next spring this will be like our garden area, which is why I figured this would be a good place to kind of dump the manure until we get the compost really going. I don't know if this will be a good place permanently, but at least it won't be in the way when we start doing like fencing and stuff like that. So anyway, what I need to do is I need to start raking up leaves and get more to mix the manure with to actually start making it into compost. But it's so wet out here right now, and it's kind of hot, so it's like muggy and wet, and the leaves are just heavy and they're hard to rake up. And so I'm probably not going to get to that today. I'm probably just going to dump this and maybe mix the one that's a little bit more mixable, and that's going to be it for today. As far as my caring for my animals, I'm pretty much done with that for the day. After my kids go to bed, I will go give the cows a little bit more grain, probably about half as much as what I gave them this morning. The cows are actually probably old enough to not be on grain, but we felt like when they first got here, they may have lost a little bit of weight, just like the shock of the move and everything. And so I think they're gaining weight and they're doing well now, but we just want to make sure that they're getting plenty of calories and what they need that they're getting from the grain. So we'll probably do that a little bit longer, and then we'll switch to being on hay and just like the alfalfa pellet, so that they'll be more of a grass-fed cow. Anyway, so that's all I have to do with the cows. After the kids go to bed, I'll go feed them a little bit more grain, and then I'll put the goats back in their little barn shed thing for the night to keep them safe. But that's pretty much all I have to do left today. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me and seeing how I take care of the animals on a pretty typical day. Like I said before, usually my husband's here working from home and doing some of the chores with me, but this is pretty typical for a solo day. So if you enjoyed it, please make sure you give it a thumbs up and like this video. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.